Hello everybody, how are you doing? Welcome back again. I'm actually very sorry for that. For the previous thing. The internet got disconnected. So we are back. So we are actually back. So we're actually back. That was, Wi-Fi was the connection was just not stable there. Julian, how can you miss a kick over there? I think it's Foden there actually. It's Phil Foden who has missed the kick over there. To be honest, I mean. Just don't know how Phil Foden could miss the kick there because I think that was a chance. He might be offside anyway, but that was a chance of Phil Foden. Far corner. This match is just like a pendulum, up, down, that's it. Josko Guardiola. City's defense have been all right. We have been put under immense amount of pressure and still we have, soaked up the pressure and stuff. So it's actually been not bad. It's not bad at all. Erling Haaland. Haaland too. Stones has been good in the role. Ruben Diaz coming forward. Kyle Walker there. I think Aston Villa's wingers on both the sides are pacey. We just need to be very careful, especially Leon Bailey. I remember last season 1-1 away at Villa Park. Leon Bailey hit a banger. We could not do anything. It's a must-win game if you ask me. Even so early in the season, it's a must-win game. We cannot have any excuses here. Can absolutely not have any excuses here, to be honest. That's a great ball. Wonderful touch from Phil Ford and great touch. This is fantastic from Phil Ford and out wide, out wide, out wide. Pass it out wide. Yes, he just passed it out wide. Yes, that's a great return ball. What is happening? Where's your touchstones? Second time it happened to Ford in a few minutes back, and now it's John Stones. Ah, just lost his footing at the eternal moment, John Stones. It stands nerves. It's nervy. It's very nervy. It's absolutely nervy. Absolutely nervous there, and that's a very good ball in. Ole Watkins with a heavy touch. Oh, what a save again from Edison. I think it was Douglas Lewis. It was Leon Bailey with the shot. Just as we were discussing Leon Bailey, lo and behold, he comes with the shot. My God, Edison has had two big saves to make today already, and we are under the cosh, guys. We're under the cosh. Need to learn how to soak up the pressure. I mean, I can't again tell this to a team that has won three Premier League titles in a row, but Every season starts from zero. It doesn't matter you're a champion or you've just come up from the championship. Every season starts from zero, and that's how you got to believe if you have to retain the championship mentality. The moment you think you won 20 titles, 30 titles, whatever titles, you're out of the race. That's another corner for Aston Villa. My God, these barrage of corners don't seem to end. 23 minutes gone, and the best chance was for Erling Haaland. Difficult chance, but he has to finish. Top class strikers finish off difficult chances. Just defend the set piece well. I pray defend the set piece well. Aston Villa have decided to take it short, and Edison holds it. It's been end to end. I won't complain that there's no attacking input from City, but we have looked stable. We have looked far more stable in this game than the Spurs game, than the Chelsea game, all those games. Rico has lost the ball and City are beat on the counter now. That is wonderful work there from Rico Lewis. His comeback. This is the character. This is the personality of the man. That's a free kick for Aston Villa, but look at it, Rico Lewis, how his comeback and his retrieved the ball again. That's what Pep Guardiola says. He says, no, it doesn't matter if you make a mistake, but do you have the courage to go and rectify it? Do you have the courage to put your hands up and say, I did the mistake and then go back and rectify it? And that's what Rico Lewis did here. Wonderful. That is wonderful tracking back from Rico Lewis, to be honest. This is a free kick. Douglas Lewis, our product, we bought him for £7 million from Vasco da Gama. And he is a master at free kicks. I think he'll be in the top five free kick takers in the Premier League for sure. Douglas Lewis with the free kick, and it's Edison. What can Edison do? That is well defended by Akanji. He's read it perfectly there, Manuel Akanji. The brain of Akanji is faster than a calculator. He's proved it in a Sky Sports show live. People were confused there. Why didn't he do maths? Why didn't he go for a career in maths and come for a career in football? Akanji has a very sharp brain, to be honest. City are on the back foot. We have been on the back foot for the last 7 minutes or so. We are not able to get. I'm interested to see the possession stats. That ball over the top from Douglas Lewis to Ole Watkins is always there. It's always available. We just cannot allow Ole Watkins to, get inside whatever happens. We cannot allow him to turn onto a stronger foot facing the goal. He's one of the informed strikers in the Premier League. And we have one of the most out of form strikers in the Premier League, and yet Erling Haaland is the top of the charts. City have defended well. Honestly, the structure has been superb. The structure has been more, the structure has been filled with, the structure is looking more rigid. It's looking, rigid not in a bad way, but it's looking impenetrable, to be honest, at the moment. City's defensive structure, it's looking very good, right from Haaland to the last defender in Ruben Diaz. Can we introduce a little bit more fluidity in the game? That's what I'm looking at. Again, it's Leon Bailey with the ball on the right wing. Josko Guardiola. I think Guardiola needs to do better over there. Leon Bailey just can't come inside. Leon Bailey just can't come inside and cross it. Josko Guardiola has to do better there. He has to learn. People are telling, he's a centre back. Why are you playing him at left back? He's so young. He's making mistakes. At the end of the day, 1v1 you have to defend, right? Which Josko Guardiola needs to do anyway, even if he's a centre back. I don't understand what the pundits are all about, to be honest. It's offside. I think Ole Watkins is offside anyway. It's a free kick. I think it's a free kick from Kyle Walker. It's a free kick at the edge of the area. This will be interesting. It's a free kick on the edge of the area. This is edge of the seat stuff. Villa are a tough team to beat, especially at home. They've won all their matches at home. Edison needs to get the organization of his wall spot on. He can't do any mistake. It's a free kick from Luis Diaz, I think. I'm sorry, Douglas Luis Diaz. Of course, plays for Liverpool, but it's a goal kick. That was well defended from Ruben Diaz, to be honest. S- Since that Haaland shot, I think since the last 10-15 minutes, it's just been Aston Villa all over. We need to get back to attacking. We need to get back to. That was a chance, but I just think Diaz put enough pressure on the defender, on the Villa player who was heading it. Just think he put enough pressure. Otherwise, it was almost a free header there. That was a good set piece routine from Villa. Erling Haaland, the ball somehow bounced up and it has come to Erling Haaland. That's a great ball there. Julian Alvarez receives it in space and he turns. And that's a good choice actually. Phil Foden to Josko Guardiola, who's available on the inside, is always underlapping. That's a great ball there. Ah, that's offside anyway. I think it's offside. Foden was offside. Ah, ah. Alvarez turned brilliantly over there. I think he was offside. I've not seen Bernardo Silva at all in the match. I think we're not at all utilizing their left flank to attack. Haven't seen Bernardo Silva at all in this match. Emi Martinez there, he just pretends he can play with the ball, but he is a useless keeper with the ball. Aston Villa get past City's press, and I think he's offside. I think Ole Watkins was offside. Leon Bailey with the shot again. I think it's a corner for Villa again. Villa is all over us. We're just not able to play our football. We're just not able to do anything here. It's a goal kick. I thought there was a deflection of Leon Bailey's shot, but it's a goal kick. City are finding it difficult to build up. We're finding it difficult to play through. Villa's press. We are finding it difficult to contain the transitions, but we've defend. That's a giveaway. That's a poor giveaway, to be honest. That's a good tackle there. I think Haaland was offside. Just that's what Pep says. Maintain calm in the midfield. Maintain calm in the midfield. Haaland was not ready for the run. What a tackle that was. I think it was by Akanji. Aston Villa looking dangerous with every passing attack, with every passing moment. John Stone slips again. This is the second time he's slipped today, but what the hell is happening? Poor pass from Kyle Walker. Focus, focus, guys, focus. 32 minutes of the game gone. Focus, guys. I think Luca Dean's down. It was a good, I won't say a good challenge, but it's put enough pressure on Luca Dean, Kyle Walker. Why doesn't Luca Dean go out for treatment? Why does he have to get the treatment on the field? It was a poor giveaway there from Josko Guardiola again, but he's recovered well, so I won't complain. He's recovered extremely well. Josko Guardiola, he's got the ball there. Had to get the ball, he's got the ball. Guardiola might be the best up and coming central defender in the world, but terms of his performances in the World Cup and everything, but he needs to learn. He needs to learn how to defend. In Leipzig, I don't think he has ever defended large spaces, but this is what you need to do at the at the sharp end of football. Whether you're playing for teams like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Man City, you have to teams like Liverpool, you have to defend huge spaces. To defend huge spaces, you have to be proficient in one-on-ones against world-class wingers, which is never easy. So I think there is a learning curve in there for Josko Guardiola. For people who thought he defended very well at Leipzig, it's a different team. The well, defending is defending, but they play a different way. They're always compact, sitting back, which means you have another defense, one for each other, how teams at the bottom half of the table play. But here at City, you don't have anyone. Large spaces, winger is running 1v1, have to defend. That is the difference between Josko Guardiola at Leipzig and Josko Guardiola in Argentina. And Josko Guardiola, Rico Lewis turns. I think Haaland was again offside there. But what a ball there from Rico Lewis. Ruben Diaz, John Stones. Stones has done the Rodri role extremely well till now. Julian Alvarez, it's Josko Guardiola actually. Ha! Adonis is here. Hey Adonis, how are you doing? Says City must win today to avoid points gap. I mean, honestly, I think at this point of the season, if we think about the points gap and stuff, I think we're just gonna go mad because remember the 2018-19 season, remember last season, remember the COVID season, all these 3 seasons, the similarity is by January, by January the starting by even by mid January we were we were at least 6 points, 8 points. Last season we were 8 points of Arsenal in January with a game. They had a game in hand on us. 18-19 we were 8 points behind Liverpool. So so I just think if history has taught us something, if these last five of our last six Premier League triumphs have taught us something, it's that do not panic. Arsenal panicked with 8 point lead, a game in hand last season. Liverpool panicked and dropped points 18-19 season. So I personally think I'm more focused on the performance here rather than the result because I think if winning five Premier League titles of the last six available, if it should have taught us something, it should have taught us that do not panic till Feb. Do not panic till Feb. Just focus on performance till Feb, and then we will see where it is. I personally think by the mid of Jan, by Feb, if we are around 8 points to whoever the league leaders are, Arsenal, Liverpool, I think we can do it. Rico Lewis losing the ball again. Rico Lewis losing the ball again. He retrieves the ball again. This is wonderful from Rico Lewis. So yes, I want City to win each and every match, but I also know that at this stage of the year, I also know that this is almost like 1,000 meter race where not even 1,000 meters. This is a 10 kilometer race where I think if you run too fast too early on, I just think you just get tired towards the end. I think catching up momentum at the right time is so important. This is a marathon and not a sprint. To be honest, I think. Whitey is here. Hey Whitey, how are you doing? He says, "Can you speak Punjabi? Are you Indian?" I'm Indian, but I don't know Punjabi. I don't know Punjabi. Oh, you're Punjabi. That's great. That's great. Which team do you support? Whitey, do you support City or do you support any other team? I'm from Hyderabad actually, so I can't speak Punjabi. Yes, yes, I can speak Hindi. Yeah, I can speak Hindi. I can speak Hindi, to be honest. Yeah. Man City, wow. That's great. That's great. Yes, Whitey, I can speak Hindi. Who do you think, by the way, Whitey, who do you think we should bring in the winter transfer window? Because that's been a $1 million question, and we have that debate here. Ah, give away in the midfield. My God, give away in the midfield. Give away in the midfield. Cover, cover, cover. Cover him. Yasko, go out wide and cover him. He's given it away in the mid. Don't let him inside. Don't let him turn. Don't let them turn. Don't let them turn. He's through on goal. Don't let them turn. This is well defended, but the danger is not over. They defended very well. The danger is not over. Yes. Ah, Edison could have caught it. The dangers. Luca Dean has a chance to put in a cross, but it's as shit of a cross as Luca Dean sometimes behaves. That was scary. That was scary. But the best thing we did there was we did not allow Leon Bailey to cut inside. We did not allow Ole Watkins to turn. Again, defending has been excellent. Whitey says maybe we might bring Sterling back. Again, Aston Villa are there on goal. They have the ball, and it's Pau Torres looking to strike from distance. Leon Bailey with the ball. Leon Bailey with the ball. Yeah. Ah, that was close. That was close. That was very close. Erling Haaland there. There's no out ball for City. There's no out ball for City. Haaland, Erling. Yes, it's passed it well. It's passed it well. Erling. That's a foul. Ah! This ref's not giving any fouls in our favor, but Erling's done well, but there was no out ball for him. Again, give away. My God. But Trem King, if we'll bring back Sterling, I might as well. You might as well tell Pep Guardiola to go. Don't want Sterling. Just imagine combining Erling Haaland with Raheem Sterling in this form. Both of them are gonna miss jackass sitters. नहीं भाई नहीं चाहिए Raheem Sterling वापस. Again, Aston Villa. Ah, Ole Watkins was a whisker away from it. Ole Watkins was a whisker away from it. Because I've heard Valentin Barco आ रहा है. Valentin Barco is coming. So again, he's just, I know Valentin Barco from River Plate, from Boca Juniors is they say he's a generational talent on the ball, but he's having defensive frailties and stuff. So we are just bringing a improved Sergio Gomez. That's it. If you are bringing in Valentin Barco, so it's 41 minutes gone, and I suspect City have just had one shot on target in the entire half. Rico Lewis does well there, but that is an excellent challenge there to prevent the ball from reaching the running Ole Watkins. Ruben Diaz, the last 3 minutes of the half. That's a very good run from Julian Alvarez, I think. The referee is the ref is done for this game. The ref is done. The ref is just he is just This ref is almost like the Spurs game ref. This ref just is looking to play advantage to Villa. This is a joke of a ref, to be honest. He's giving so many fouls against us. This one shot on target. When have you seen this last time? City just having one shot on target. Aston Villa have had 14 touches in our box, and we have had 5 touches in Aston Villa's box. We are not able to get the ball of Douglas Lewis, to be honest. The ref, just remove your shirt, black shirt, and show the Aston Villa uh, shirt. It's just, this ref is giving all the decisions in favor of Aston Villa, to be honest. It's another free kick in Aston Villa's favor, and it's a yellow card as well now. John Stones. It's almost the Aston Villa player told the ref, yellow card, and the ref. This ref is just giving everything. I know it's a foul, but the ref is just giving even too many soft fouls in Aston Villa's favor. Coutinho says confidence, the difference between City and Villa so far, especially in the midfield. I mean, honestly, Coutinho, yeah, it's true what you said, but it's so bizarre, right? So I'll just complete it after Ole Watkins is through on goal, is almost through on goal, I think. Edison does well there. Uh, that was so close. Ref just blow for half time. The ball's gone out anyway. The ball's gone out. The ball's gone out anyway. The ball's gone out. Douglas Lewis was almost celebrating the thing. I thought the ball's gone out, but don't know. This could be anything. The curvature of the ball and stuff. They could. Yes, the ball's clearly gone out there. The ball's clearly gone out there. There's no thing about the curvature and stuff. The ball's clearly gone out. City building out from the back. City are looking at half time more than Villa, and this happens very rarely. I'll give credit where it's due with Villa, but Rico Lewis there, Rico Lewis there, Rico Lewis, Rico Lewis, Rico Lewis. He has to pass it out wide. He's done extremely well there to pass it out wide. Bernardo Silva on the ball there. Ah, what happened there? I don't know why Foden didn't react, why Foden wasn't that proactive, to be honest. Ah, it's a good cross, but I think that will be the half. Carolina, I'll just come back to your point in a bit because City are just, they're just giving me one nervous moment after other. They're giving us, in fact, one nervous moment of other. Kremkin says, "Can you make me a mod? I would love to be a mod, but in order to be a mod, you'll have to be on the channel for a certain number of months." Crimping. This is another attack, and John Stones does well, to be honest, and that's a City throw, I guess, and that should be the end of the half. Yes, that should. So, Kremking, you need to be here for a certain number of months, and you need to be interactive in the community and stuff because I just can't make anyone a mod, right? Trust of the community is important as well, so you need to be active for a bit. Coutinho says confidence. The difference between City and Villa so far, especially in the midfield. But continue, don't you think it's a bit bizarre in a way that City 5 6 months back playing in the Champions League final had Rodri, Gundogan, and Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield, and that for me I thought was a generational midfield, was the best midfield in Europe, no doubt. And you could compare it to some of the other legendary midfields, whatever were there in the past. That midfield was so good, and suddenly you're seeing that the midfield no longer exists. Gundogan we have sold. Kevin De Bruyne has maybe played 10 minutes this season. Rodri has had his suspensions, his had his fair share of things this season, not playing this game. So it's so bizarre how things have come, right? Just in 5 months, how things could change. John Stones, who was one of the best centre backs in Europe last season, who could possibly do what only Bakan did, and John Stones has not had minutes regularly this season. I mean, people this season actually blame Kim King says, oh, that's okay. Thank you for understanding, Kim King. Thank you for understanding. But then, if you're a regular on a channel and you participate actively in the community, then there's no problem after a few months or so in making your mod. So yeah. So it's, I mean, people say City have not been performing well this season. We have been leaking a lot of goals. Chelsea, Spurs, this game also we have not looked our usual selves and stuff. But then but then I take it back to what was our team last season. De Bruyne not played much minutes this season. Gundogan gone. John Stones not played much this season apart from those 2 3 games injuries. Jack Grealish in fact is not there this season as much. So literally you've had 4 key players not playing as much. Josko Guardiola taking time to integrate. So literally, I've had 5 players, at least 5 to 6 players who are finding their feet in the team. Sorry, 5 to 6 players who are actually out from last season's team. So I just think we'll have to. I think it's time. Like what you have actually observed from Pep Guardiola over the past 5 seasons, 6 seasons, 7 seasons. How much ever time has been there here. The first half is for preparation. The first half is for sorting out what my best team is, and the second half is for just letting them go on a nitrous booster, a power booster. I think now we'll have to start thinking of Pep Guardiola as the first half of the season. He will be experimenting. He will be figuring out what is the best team that can get me through certain moments in the second half of the season. When I have to face a world class winger, he'll be figuring out when I have to face a world class winger. Will it be Ake or will it be Guardiola? If I have to put someone in the midfield, who would it be? Akanji, if Stones is not available, will it be Akanji or will it be someone else? Can I trust Akanji in those situations? I just think Pep is experimenting here, and we just need to be with Pep. Just need to be with Pep. And I just think going into the mid of January and February, first week, to be honest, I think if we are around 6 to 8 points of the league leaders, anything is possible. I think we can do it. We've seen it in the past seasons, we can do it. We can give them a fight. I'll never say that you'll win Premier League every season because that's not how sport works. It's the unpredictability in sport that really, draws you towards watching it, draws you towards living those moments in sport. So I'll not be sitting here and telling City should win every Premier League, City should win every Champions League. But what I'll say here is City should fight for every Premier League. City should fight till the end for every Premier League. That's it. And every Champions League and every trophy. That's what sport teaches you about. So I just think we'll have to bear with Pep and what he does till January mid or February first week just to see what could happen with the team. I'll just be checking on other scores as well, to be honest. Let's see scores around the other ground. Brighton 2, Brentford 1. Mbumo scored a penalty. That's good because I have Mbumo in my fantasy team. That's good. That's that's very good to be honest. And then Bournemouth 1, Palace nil. I have one Palace defender, so there'll be no clean sheet over there in the fantasy. Wow, Fulham 4, Nottingham Forest nil. This is interesting. Raul Jimenez has scored two goals. Interesting. Willian assist, and it's interesting though. I don't have any one of them in my fantasy. This thing. United Chelsea is the big game, of course. Sheffield United Liverpool. I just saw it 1-0. I saw the goal by Van Dijk, print assist. United Chelsea. Wow, Bruno Fernandes missed a penalty. Wow. And Scott McTominay scores and Cole Palmer scores to restore the advantage. So that's interesting. Cole Palmer going there and scoring. So I'm doing pretty much all right in fantasy, not too much here and there. Let's just look at the stats there. City have just edged the ball position, but this is where it comes. City have had Aston Villa have had 13 shots, where we had two shots in total. And big chances missed is what draws me there. Aston Villa were 13 shots, 5 shots on target, and there one big chance missed. We had 5 shots and 2 shots on sorry, we had 2 shots in total and 2 shots on target as well, and we had 2 chances missed, 2 big chances missed. So I mean that is something which that is the stat that is very damning for me, to be honest. That we have had 2 shots on target and 2 big chances missed. I mean, like you all, I was actually disappointed yesterday that Luton thing 3-3. I was expecting a 3-3 draw, Arsenal dropping points, but Declan Rice scores at the end and they get the points. I mean, I guess City players would have had a little bit of disappointment from that as well. It would be nonsensical for me to say that City will not watch that game. Of course, we would have had an eye on that game, so that would have taken a bit out of us, but again we are used to this, right? It's not that we are a novice in the title race. It's not that we are an amateur in the title race. It has happened to us in those epic title races with Liverpool and stuff. So I was a bit disappointed initially yesterday. Luton Arsenal 2-2, sorry, 3-3, and Rice scores at the end, but then you just get over it because Arsenal have not won a title in 20 years and you have won 5 of the 6 titles. Coutinho says, will having Rodri would have made any difference in this match? I think so, Coutinho. I think so. I absolutely think so. If Rodri was there in this match, I think Aston Villa would have found it so very difficult to get that ball in the midfield, because if you see where the play was broken up by Aston Villa, it's Douglas Lewis and Baubakar Kamara, for example. Both of them, physically going on people like Rico Lewis, people like even Julian Alvarez, and getting the ball of them. I think Rico Lewis himself has turned over the ball thrice or 4 times, and he's not a player who gives the ball as easily. I think John Stones has given the ball away once or twice. I think if Rodri is there, I think if Rodri is there, Rodri would be the most physically dominating player in that midfield. Right now, Douglas Lewis is the most physically dominating player in that midfield. So I think that is the difference. I think if Rodri is there, another thing is the switches of the ball out wide. Because if you see, the space is there out wide. Foden has having a lot of space. Bernardo Silva having a lot of space. I think the switches would have been on if Rodri is there, but with John Stones, I think with all of the qualities John Stones has, John Stones is excellent on the ball. He can dribble well, he can pass well, but John Stones is not the kind of player who can switch the ball well out wide on either flanks. So I think that is where it's a bit more predictable, because as soon as the trigger of the press for Aston Villa is as soon as we get the ball in the midfield, John Stones or Rico Lewis. Luca Dean, if you observe, Luca Dean is coming up, and the Konsa is also coming up. Especially Luca Dean is coming up because Luca Dean is confident that There'll be no switch out wide. How many times have City switched out wide? I think one time with Rico Lewis, and that was a big chance created. So I think it's been more predictable with Rico Lewis not there. Sorry, with Rodri not there. And it is for this specific reason that Calvin Phillips has been got. People say, why did you go for Calvin Phillips when we could have gone for other good midfielders? You know, the number one reason why we let Romeo Lavia go and all. I know that Calvin Phillips has not worked out at City. I know he's not had the success at City, but Calvin Phillips, just go and look at the passing range of Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips can easily hit a dime when he, switches play. He is absolutely fantastic in long range passing. Haaland makes the run. Calvin Phillips could give the ball over the top. The passing range of Calvin Phillips is very, very good. I know we have not seen that at City, but his passing range is very good. That is the only reason we have got Calvin Phillips. He's not succeeded anyway. That's a different story. Anandu says our midfield is non-existent by. I mean, it's been physically dominated by. I actually remember that Brighton match, to be honest. Aston Villa defeated Brighton 4-1 or 5-1 or whatever was the score line, and Douglas Lewis, Baubakar Kamara, and someone else in that midfield, I think Zaniolo, Brighton could not deal with that Aston Villa midfield in terms of physicality. They would just, compress that Brighton midfield and then, go on the counter attack. It was 5-1, it was 6-1. That was how much of a big score line it was, to be honest. Villa against Brighton. Villa almost tried to do that, but what is preventing from that happening is John Stones to an extent, because John Stones is centre back. He has a bit of physicality to an extent. Otherwise, if today Calvin Phillips, Rico Lewis, and Alvarez would have played in that midfield, I think it would have been 3-0 or 4-0 by this time. That's how much. I mean, people don't realize the physicality of Douglas Lewis, to be honest. Coutinho says, if we are missing Rodri too much, then it's a bad sign, my opinion. Because in that case, City are just an injury away from packing up this season. That's true. That's true. But it has always been the case, right? Coutinho last season, last entire season from February to, I mean, it has always been the season with the thing with Rodri. That City are always a Rodri injury away from packing up this season, and for that I'll have to give it to, sometimes the gambles in the transfer window don't work, and Calvin Phillips gamble hasn't worked. So I think I'll have to be honest, and I'll have to give it to you. Yes, it's a bad sign, but it is what it is. But it is what it is. I think against lesser teams, uh, John Stones can do that Rodri role in the midfield, but against your Villas and, teams in the top seven, top eight, even Brentford, I would say they could find it difficult. I think the difference from last season is last season, even if you didn't have Rodri, Gundogan could have managed that to an extent, because Gundogan, we should remember, has played as a number in that Rodri's role as a number 8 in Champions League finals and stuff for Borussia Dortmund. So Gundogan could have managed that, but this season there's no Gundogan, and this is the exact reason why Pep wanted Lucas Paqueta to bring that physicality into the midfield. I still go back to that Paqueta signing and think how bad the timing of that betting investigation should have been, because Lucas Paqueta in this team, I think we win Chelsea, we win Spurs, we win Liverpool. Anandu says someone who can drive the ball like Nunez or Kova. With Kova, Anandu, the problem is I think Kovacic gives the ball away too cheaply, and I don't think he's the fastest in the sort of recovery thing and stuff. I think Kova gives the ball away too easily. I mean, he doesn't actually, but in the City career, he's giving the ball away. I thought Kovacic was unpressable, but Arsenal game is an example of how much Kovacic struggled. I don't think Kovacic is the answer to face a defensive midfield like, I mean, a physical midfield like Villa. Kova would struggle. Kovacic for me is a ball carrier. Kovacic for me is, if you create that opportunity for him to, you know just go forward with the ball with as minimal of a defensive work as possible. I think Kovacic is not the answer. Matthews Nunes is the answer, but Nunes is injured. I think Coutinho, coming back to your question, I think Matthews Nunes could be the answer of he if he plays, maybe we would not miss Rodri as much because Matthews Nunes in a DM. Matthews Nunes played for Sporting CP in a DM position alongside John Stones and Julian Alvarez in the central midfield. Actually, another interesting thing is, I think with Kevin De Bruyne in there, people always underappreciate the physicality which Kevin De Bruyne brought into the midfield. Kevin De Bruyne is a physical specimen, if you see the way he presses and stuff. So I think missing Kevin De Bruyne has affected our defensive side as well. I do not think Julian Alvarez offers you the same defensive cover that our Kevin De Bruyne does, to be honest. So problems in the midfield, problems counting your stretch far, far, far greater than missing Rodri. There's the stretch to being too soft on the midfield, to be honest. Ball given away in the midfield by Villa and Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva. It's offside. Counting assists. Let's not talk about Calvin Phillips. Sometimes I even forget that he's still in City squad. A win-win situation if City sell him soon. But what could have been if Phillips was there? That's what I'm thinking because his passing wise is excellent. He's an engine. Just not worked out for him. It was not a bad signing by any stretch of imagination. He was an England regular, was a star in the Euros when we bought him that season. So Liverpool were after him. Klopp was after him. So just didn't turn out to be this thing. Not a failure by the scouting department. Vinay says worst football by City. Vinay, at least we didn't concede a goal, Vinay. The defensive structure was good. It could have been much more worse, Vinay. Just remember last season. I think February 2-0 down by half time against Spurs. I know we came back to win 4-2 and that was a home game, but it could have been much, much worse. Vinay, Watkins could have gone through one on one a couple of times, could have been worse. The football's not good, but just think at least defensively we have been solid. Defensively we have been very solid. Aston Villa have had 13 shots and we conceded just one big chance of those 13 shots. So that I think that tells you how defensively resolute we are, to be honest. By the way, Kefrem Turam is, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. Kefrem Turam is the player which City want to bring in to replace Calvin Phillips because Calvin Phillips is obviously leaving in January transfer window for sure. Because Euros is there and he wants to play an England team. He is leaving in January for sure. And Kefrem Turam, which I think Liverpool were in for him as well. They say his playing style is almost like Paul Pogba. Not his attitude, but his playing style. Rico Lewis, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Ruben Diaz. Kefram Turam could be an interesting signing. We'll just speak on him a little bit more. Just unable to focus here because of City just giving the ball away so cheaply on so many occasions in the first half. That's a good switch. That's a very good switch. Bernardo Silva does extremely well. Again, at least that City are having a bit of a grip. Kyle Walker does extremely well. Again, the referee giving a foul in Aston Villa's favour. I never thought that was a foul. But the winter transfer window is just going to be so much more interesting now with the status of Kevin De Bruyne up in the air. To be honest, because age is it's not a 29-year-old Kevin De Bruyne or even a 30-year-old Kevin De Bruyne. It's a 33, 34-year-old Kevin De Bruyne, right? So the process for recovery will be Fast one. This is where Villa, dangerous Villa on the counter attack here. Villa on the counter attack. That's very well defended. The body shape and the positioning by Ruben Diaz is just exceptional over there. I think there's one considerable change from last match to this match. City's defenders haven't come forward as much in the first half. Okay, I know Walker's just bombing up now, but in general, it's been just sitting back a bit more than in the previous 2-3 games. Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Kyle Walker again, Rico Lewis. There's no one on the bench. Literally, there's no one on the bench. Literally, there's no one on the bench to bring on. Maybe Kovacic, but there's no game changer on the bench in that sense. No Doku or someone like that. Oscar Bob is the only attacking change I can think of if you need a goal or something. To be honest, that's good pressing by City, and it's a throw in. Erling Haaland with the throw. That's a great ball. That's it. Don't know why Julian Alvarez didn't follow through. He was definitely not offside. Just don't know what stopped Julian Alvarez there from following. I think it was marginal. It was marginal. Pass was over it as well. To be honest, I think City are playing those short passes very well. Ruben Diaz. City are much more patient and much more composed in this half. They started the half well, to be honest. Rico Lewis, Bernardo Silva. That's a good pass. That's a very good pass, to be honest. Rico Lewis is just being surrounded by too many people. I think he needs to be careful. No foul. City, we will not get any fouls today because the ref is an idiot. That was a clear foul, and the ref is not given it. Rico Lewis there. It's Bernardo Silva actually. Rico Lewis on the outside. Two City players coming in each other's path. And as soon as someone gets a hand on an Aston Villa player, the ref can't wait to give a foul. That is not a yellow card as well. I know he's pulled the shirt back. That's probably a yellow. My apologies. Be honest. City are looking more composed in this half, to be honest. Villa just passing through. That's very well read by Ruben Diaz, to be honest. What a ball that was from the Aston Villa player, and that was well read by Ruben Diaz. It's tension all round. It almost seems Aston Villa playing with an extra player. Sometimes even two extra players. Aston Villa are the first to each and every ball, to be honest. Ruben Diaz has been excellent. I think he's been the standout player for City today. Just led that defense incredibly well. He was offside. Foden was offside. I think Foden knew that he was offside in a way. Haaland just took a little bit more time there to play that ball. That was a good throw. Yes, Foden just went too early. But it tells you when you're most when one of your big chances is created from a throw in creatively, it just tells you how much City are struggling creatively. There's no creativity in that midfield. I think we have been crying out for this since the Chelsea game. There's absolutely no creativity in this City team right now. Right now, the City team is crying out for a creative player. Absolutely zero creativity. Villa with the throw in. We are struggling with creativity here. I hate to repeat myself, but that's the only reason. Otherwise, how can you just have two shots overall in the game? When is the last time you saw City have two shots overall in the game? Ole Watkins receives the ball and I think Kyle Walker one on one has to go on and defend. That is excellent defending, to be honest. Manuel Akanji has just used his brain a lot. Ah! Ah, Kanji, he's done well over there and given the ball away again. See, that is one of Akanji's habits why he's not been able to do the John Stones role well. He just over dribbles, he just over complicates things. In that midfield, the only thing you should see is when you go into the midfield alongside Rodri, pass and move, that's all. Akanji just takes too many risks, I think, to play that role. I would love to see Josko Guardiola being tried in that role, to be honest. John Stones does, not Akanji. Ruben Diaz. That's finally the referee has given a free kick in City's favor. Just look at Jasko Guardiola's reaction there. Finally, ref, finally you have given something in our favor. It's a free kick, and I think Julian Alvarez needs to take it. An in swinger. I think it's Bernardo Silva who'll take it. It's an out swinger, which is one of the worst set pieces I've ever seen. Why don't we hire a set piece coach? We are just so much crap at these set pieces, to be honest. I was almost fearing when we got set pieces against Spurs because they were scoring goals and our set pieces from counter attack and not us. Ruben Diaz. Manuel Akanji. That's a foul. For a moment, I thought he lost the ball. My God. Now the referee is being fair and consistent, I think. That's a clear foul on Manuel Akanji. How are we going to score a goal? That is the next big question. Let me know in the comments, guys. How are we going to score a goal in this match? Can we even score a goal in this match? Because what will be the creative outlet? That is the thing for me. It's a turnover of possession in the midfield, and Josko Guardiola one on one. He just cannot lose this. That's a good clearance. That's good positioning from Ruben Diaz, to be honest. Nervy moments everywhere. Don't know what's going on with us. That's a corner for Aston Villa. Luca Dean wants a free kick, I think, for a handball, but from such a close range, how can you have a free kick? But we have to defend a corner again now. Douglas Lewis has become so good. That was jangling in the box. My God. This is the most unbeautiful football, I think, which City have played under Pep Guardiola. Now we are scraping here. We're absolutely scraping here. Leon Bailey, just do not let him step in. That's again good defending. Ruben Diaz has been a colossus, has been a rock today. Ha! Edison does well to claim it. Good claim by Edison. Diaz has been the best player. That's a good bit of play by Villa, but Edison has been good, but Diaz has been very good, to be honest. He's been a colossus, like I said before. He's been a rock for us. I'm just not seeing where will be our creative output for scoring a goal. I just cannot see it. No. I don't know what kind of a worse ball is that. It's a goal kick, but again giving possession away. Look at that. Again giving possession away. This is the answer to your question, Kandinya. If Rodri would have been there, there would be no chaos like this. Ruben Diaz did enough with his physicality and stuff. Good that he didn't tackle and give away a penalty, but he did enough with his physicality and stuff. The ref is just gonna give a lot of decisions in their favor. We need to be ready for that, to be honest. But City are just scrapping. We are just getting through here. This could be one of the most hard fought matches, the one of the most unbeautiful matches. I mean, if I would ask you who is City's manager right now, if I would ask a random football fan who doesn't watch City, he would say Jose Mourinho maybe, because that's the brand of football we are playing right now. But the good thing is we are digging in, we are showing character, but do not let him inside. Do not let him inside. It's well done. Villa are just not letting us have the ball here. My God. It's just not happening for City today. Luca Dean gets so much space out wide, and that's good defending by City. Ah, we are just not able to keep hold of the ball. When is the last time you heard Pep Guardiola's team? Pep Guardiola's team cannot keep hold of the ball. We are the ones who are looking to hit Villa on the counter, but we're just not able to get the ball of these Villa players. I think that's a corner for Aston Villa now. My God, this is just so tense. That's very well defended again. Rico Lewis, Rico. Ah, Rico Lewis giving the pass. My God. City are absolutely on the edge. We are absolutely on the ropes here. There's no other way to put it. We are absolutely on the ropes. That is again very well intercepted by Manuel Akanji. That's a free kick in City's favor. Yuri Tillemans there in that midfield. Just not able to contain the ball in the midfield. We are just not able to get into the midfield. And now Vinicius Kova and Nunez on. I think now the midfield could be a bit more physical and a bit more better. I think this could be the change we need. I don't know, but Matthews Nunez will be very interesting. Matthews Nunez could be the trump card which we have been missing. Vinicius worst football. It's the most unbeautiful piece of football I've seen since I've ever seen a Pep team play. Vinay, I've ever seen a Pep team play. Maybe not, maybe not. Last season, you remember the match? You remember the match against Chelsea, first half, Stamford Bridge, when Cancelo was playing on the right wing? That was worst. Community Shield, that was worst. This game, I think probably is in those games. But then I think one thing I like today is our resilience. One thing I like today is our resilience at the back. Ruben Diaz has been absolutely good. The defenders, I mean, when was the last time you thought defenders would carry a Pep team? Ruben Diaz, fantastic. Kyle Walker, fantastic in his duels. Nunez and Kovacic on. Now it will be interesting how well we can retain that ball in the midfield, to be honest. Look at it, how Matthews Nunez is. Look at it, how Matthews Nunez is taking the ball and running with the ball. I think Matthews Nunez could be the answer to a lot of questions here. Matthews Nunez could be the answer to a lot of our struggles in the midfield. Honestly, he could be the answer to that defensive. No, that defensive physicality, that defensive cover in the midfield, which we are lacking, even with someone like Rodri, Alvarez, and Foden, for example, in that midfield as well. We were lacking, but Matthews Nunes, I think, has to start every game from now on. Mateo Kovacic, Leon Bailey there, but Manuel Akanji does extremely well getting across. The turn of pace from Manuel Akanji is just superb over there. Wow. Leon Bailey is thinking, how has this man even reached me? It's almost like the squeeze is on, and this ref is just giving silly fouls in favor of Villa. But it's almost like the squeeze is on City, and there's no way to escape for us. Oscar Bob is coming on. Where is the creative element? Have questioned. Maybe this could be the creative element. This could be this night. This next 20 minutes could be the making of Oscar Bob. You never know in terms of starting regularly at City. Just never know. It's a free kick from Villa, and Villa are known for their inventive free kicks. That's missed everyone, and it's a City throw. I think first we'll have a substitution. Oscar Bob is coming on. Pep is giving so many detailed instructions to Oscar Bob. I just don't think 20 minutes will be enough now before he comes on. But those tactical instructions to finish. Phil Foden does extremely well. Kyle Walker gets on the ball. He releases Bernardo Silva. Walker goes on the overlap. Bernardo Silva has to pick out Matthews Nunes as his option. He does. Kovacic, Akanji. That is where the attack is stopping. There's no one who can maybe penetrate that Villa back line. Maybe I think that is why Oscar Bob is being summoned to come on. That is why we wanted Lucas Paqueta. Pep realized this problem early on. Someone who could play through balls and threat to that defensive Kevin De Bruyne is not there. Matthews Nunez, I hope he doesn't shoot. Ah, it's a goal kick. The idea was right, but the execution wasn't. And Josko Guardiola in now for the last 18 odd minutes. Phil Foden goes. I probably think for this game, for City to have anything from this game, you needed to drop Alvarez and play Phil Foden in the middle and start Oscar Wow from the beginning. I just don't know why Pep Guardiola always starts Alvarez. I mean, I know it's because of his off the ball work, but still. Look at it. Suddenly with Kovacic and Nunez in production, we are having much more better control of the midfield. To be honest, and it's a 3v3 at the back. Oh my God, how did it turn out to be like that? And Villa score. And it's Leon Bailey again. Leon Bailey scores again for Aston Villa. I don't know how it ended up being a 3v3 at the back. Aston Villa scores. It's the usual Leon Bailey goal. It's the usual Leon Bailey goal that always comes. My God, it's the usual Leon Bailey goal. Ah, how did it end up being a 3v3 at the back? Josko Guardiola again. Josko Guardiola again. I know it's a deflection of Ruben Diaz, but I know it's a deflection of Ruben Diaz, but it's Josko Guardiola needs to do better. Another mistake from Josko Guardiola and another goal. Another goal conceded from Josko Guardiola mistake. That Leon Bailey was Josko Guardiola's man. I do not think Nathan Ake can would have ever let that happen. City are absolutely struggling here. We are on the ropes. That was a good ball, but Aston Villa defend again. Can City respond? That is, how will we score a goal? The referee is ready to point for a free kick, but there's no foul on the Villa player. Now get ready for Emi Martinez taking 10 minutes on each free kick. Why does this Leon Bailey, Hong Min Son, why do they always have to keep scoring against us in every bloody match? Pep Guardiola there, what must he be thinking? Defensively, we were so good, and a mistake by Josko Guardiola. I think this is on Josko Guardiola. He just cannot let Leon Bailey. John Stones, Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic does well. John Stones, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz, Bernardo Silva, Bernardo Silva of all people giving the ball away. My God, it's a free hit again. It's Luca Dean. Erling Haaland's had no service at all today. Absolutely no service. That's a corner for Aston Villa. Nothing. City are doing absolutely nothing there. It's all Aston Villa. It's all Aston Villa. And Aston Villa, if this result stands, go above us in the points table. There's no creativity in the midfield and there's no nothing. It's Leon Bailey down and he'll be down for the entire night now, for the entire evening. Just absolute shite. I just think that all of the problems is Julian Alvarez playing in that cam position. There's absolutely no creativity there. And I don't think Pep will ever realize that and he'll ever drop Julian Alvarez. If this result stands, I think City will be 6 points off leaders Arsenal. and it's just December. Coutinho says, "What am I watching? City are even unable to clear the ball here. Is this what it has come down to? It's absolutely coming down to. It's absolutely coming down to rubbish, Coutinho. We are just not playing, just not even able to take control of the ball in the midfield. And this is the team that has defeated Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Inter Milan 6 months back, Arsenal twice 6 months back. Just unbelievable how a 6 months can change things in football. Can we make a comeback here somehow? That's the only question. Even a draw, and I think it would just fill the entire team with confidence. Now I'm not confident even with Luton away, to be honest, which we have on Sunday. And then after that match, I think we go to Club World Cup. Bring the fixtures on. We're just not able to clear the ball. Josko Guardiola, Leon Bailey one on one. Just take him out, mate. Just can't allow Leon Bailey to turn. And this is a £100 million defender. It is a free kick for City. Is it, or is it just a throw in? Continue. The thing is, there's no creativity in the attack. That is where everything is coming down to. So there is immense pressure on the defense. The opponent is not being pushed back. And Pep Guardiola, I don't know why he's always playing Julian Alvarez in the central midfield, where you're not gonna get creativity from him. Pep might be trying out something, I don't know, but what is it? It's not working as of now. Ah, can we create one more chance, one big chance? That's the only thing. Who will create? That is another question. The number of attempts, Aston Villa have had 21 attempts. City have had 3 attempts in the entire match. That one statistic is enough to tell you the kind of football we have been playing. Manuel Akanji, Roscoe Guardiola, Matthews Nunez, Ruben Diaz. I don't know why Nunez took it inside again, just to give the ball away. John Stones. It's not a head injury, so you're not obliged to stop, to be honest. It's not a head injury. And Leon Bailey is down as usual. It's the second time he's down in the last 7 minutes. And that's what he always does. Gets the goal and is always down. Not his mistake. It's just that we are playing shit. I think this is the most unbeautiful and the worst piece of football we have played under Pep Guardiola for a long, long time. That Leon Bailey goal, as they show it back again and again, I think it's all on Josko Guardiola. It's all on Josko Guardiola. I think the entire problem is stemming from Julian Alvarez playing in the team. I know I'm repeating this. A lot of people here have said this. No, absolutely no creativity. That is where everything is stemming from, and the problem is just getting worse and worse. To be honest, look at City not being able to get the ball of Aston Villa. When is that? When did it happen? The last time that hit the bar there. Finishes off, mate. Finishes off. That's well defended by Oscar Bob. And I think that's Douglas Lewis trying from range and he's hit the bar. Without Kevin De Bruyne, there's absolutely no creativity there, and Pep doesn't play Foden there. I don't know why. He always plays Julian Alvarez. Can we somehow score a goal in this game? That's the only thing. That's the only hope. We can restore something from it. That was as bad a cross as you'll ever see from Oscar Guardiola. Maybe Martinez did well, but at least roll the ball on the ground for Erling Haaland. Kyle Walker there, time running away from City. Kovacic, Bernardo Silva. There's no creative outlet. They're going forward, but everyone's looking puzzled on how to create. This is the team that has had the highest goals, and that's again an offside. We have been offside million times today. The worst performance the last 6 years, absolutely. The worst performance. Kick Julian Alvarez out from that midfield position. That's the first thing you would do after this kind of a performance. Josko Guardiola, I think Josko Guardiola will not be getting many games after this, to be honest. Ake will come back. I'm surprised he didn't start Ake today, especially against Leon Bailey when Ake has pocketed Mohamed Salah. Bukayo Saka and wingers like that. Nunez does extremely well, and it's Kyle Walker, Matheus Nunez again, and this is absolute shite from City there. Absolute shite. No coordination between Nunez and Walker. What kind of a joke we have become from the treble winning team. Ole Watkins goes, no goal for him today, but Leon Bailey scored his customary goal. I think it's Zaniolo who's coming on, and I think the time's up as well. What is the added time? I'm sure he'll add. I'm sure he'll just add a couple more minutes, I think. Coutinho says Nunez and Walker messing up that 4 yard pass sums up the day. No, Coutinho, what sums up the day? Bernardo Silva going on with the ball, dribbling with the ball, and then he doesn't know what to do. No one, John Stones goes up there into the midfield and doesn't know what to do. There is absolutely zero creative outlet. But no, I have to play Julian Alvarez. I have to play Julian Alvarez no matter what happens. I don't know why Pep always has to play Julian Alvarez. It does not miss a single game. And there is absolutely no creativity in the midfield. Nothing. Absolutely zero creativity. Why don't you just play Foden in the midfield and Oscar Bob or someone out wide on the wing today? That is your best chance at creating something, right? Phil Foden is one of the best creators when you play there. Play him in the midfield there. And that's a free kick to Aston Villa again. There's no creative outlet. All of the reasons why we wanted Lucas Paqueta are being visible right now. Each and every reason. We are not able to take the bloody ball of Aston Villa. 21 shots to 3 shots. What a pass that is. I don't know who gave that pass, but what a pass that is. Oscar Bob, Josko Guardiola overlapping, and he absolutely doesn't know what to do. Look at it. Josko Guardiola doesn't know what to do with the ball, absolutely. He has run up and down thrice, and that's it, we lose the ball. I don't know what Pep Guardiola is signaling now. I think the one who let Ilkay Gundogan's contract expire should be sacked, to be honest. Yeah, there was some problem with the camera, to be honest, and just like City's play, things have been shit today. It's a throw in for Aston Villa again. This is just the first week of December, and City already in crisis mode. City already encountering the winter blues, I would say. I think 95 minutes are over, and that should be that, I think. That should be the game. The final whistle's gone, and City lose 1-0 at Villa Park. We are now 6 points of Arsenal. We're now 6 points of Arsenal. City already in crisis mode. It's just the first week of December, and the pointers are clear. There's no creativity in the midfield. The number one point is there's no creativity in the midfield. The defense has been good. Okay, there have been slight errors. Josko Guardiola and that Leon Bailey thing, but I think on the whole the defense has been good, but midfield has been shite. No one linking defense to attack. No midfield. Absolute absence of midfield. Julian Alvarez for me should not even start in the midfield from the next game. Not his mistake. Start him in a 4-4-2, but absolutely don't start Julian Alvarez in the midfield. It's an absolute farce. The guy is not even a midfielder. Why are you starting him there? Why are you starting a striker in the midfield? It's as if you had Ole Watkins and Haaland, you start Haaland in the midfield. That's how it is. Starting Julian Alvarez in the midfield. Today, City were coming from the defense, you're passing out of the back. Stones is coming with the ball. He doesn't know what to do. Josko Guardiola is coming with the ball. He's coming forward with the ball. He doesn't absolutely know what to do. It's one of the most uncreative pieces of art that Pep Guardiola has produced in his entire career, I think. That's how shit the performance was. Even when Grealish was playing on the left wing, Mahrez was on the right wing, boring games were still creating chances. Today, zero chances created, zero chances created. Three shots on target, three shots the entire game to Aston Villa's 21 shots. Three shots the entire game. That just sums up everything for you. That just sums up the season for you, at least till now, I would say. Struggling to create. No Kevin De Bruyne. Struggling to create. You let Ikai Gundogan go, who's a bigger creative outlet as well. And it now feels even more worse because Ikai Gundogan was someone who was fit. He hardly suffered injuries in the last 2 years, 3 years. Whereas Kevin De Bruyne was suffering injuries. So you knew that on the back Gundogan was needed if De Bruyne was out for a longer period. But no, when I say super shite, when I'm just getting frustrated of seeing Julian Alvarez in the midfield, offering nothing, offering absolute nothing. This is this is the peaks of this is the peaks of worst football that City has played that I've seen since Pep has come. This takes me back to seasons back under Manuel Pellegrini when he was almost being sacked. That season, his last season. This takes me back to even in Pep's first season when he conceded 4 to Leicester, 5 to Everton, or the other way around, 5 to Leicester and 4 to Everton. Still, we were creating chances. But here, what bothers me? What bothers me is not that we are 6 points behind Arsenal. It's still only December. We can claw them back. What bothers me is zero creativity. Zero creativity here. Absolutely zero creativity. That is what bothers me, to be honest. Absolutely zero creativity. When I says soon saw the lineup, first question, who will create? Pep here to blame exactly. I mean, I don't understand this. Why doesn't Pep Guardiola put Phil Foden in the midfield and start Oscar Bob out wide, or even start Julian Alvarez out wide when one of the strongest qualities of Julian Alvarez is crossing. Julian Alvarez can cross very well. He doesn't do it. I want to play Julian Alvarez in the midfield. Bloody, I will do it. Now I'm not telling you here that I know more than Pep or something because he's won you the treble and won us the treble and all. But it's so apparent to see that Julian Alvarez is becoming the problem there in the midfield. Nothing on the lad, not his position. You just can't tell David Alaba to play as a striker and then tell why is he not doing a movement as a striker. That is just ridiculous. It's all on Pep. No creativity. It's today we lost. It's not on the defense. It's not on Erling Haaland. It's not on John Stones or it's not on Rico Lewis or someone. It's on the absence of a creative midfielder. And what did the absence of a creative midfielder do? Villa were confident of just pouncing on the midfield, high pressing on the midfield. If there was a Kevin De Bruyne, I tell you, no one would have ever dared. Villa would never have dared to press so high because everyone knows Kevin De Bruyne can just release you with one pass. There was no one who could release you with one pass, to be honest. Coutinho says Pep was outthought today. Let's agree and take it on the chin. Pep was outthought by Emery. Players might have played bad, but it definitely wouldn't have been this bad if it's only their fault. There was no creator in the midfield, Camden. There's no question of Pep being outthought. There was no creator in the midfield. I bet that if you play the same game with Kevin De Bruyne instead of Julian Alvarez, City win this. I didn't see anything in the tactics that Unai Emery did was they outthought Pep, to be honest. Okay, Aston Villa pressed high and all of that stuff, but I think we must also remember Pep was limited by the kind of personnel he had. Pep did not have Rodri, he did not have De Bruyne. Not excuses, but I think Pep was limited with the personnel as well. But I think if there was even Phil Foden playing in the midfield, I think Unai Emery would not have pressed so high. There was no creative presence in the midfield, I think. That is the main thing. Vinay says he's taking Foden off. What the F? Putting on Kate Bob. That's the thing which infuriates me, Vinay. And continue with that statement when you say Pep was outthought. I mean, who takes up Foden when you need a goal and keeps on Julian Alvarez? I mean, bloody take off Julian Alvarez, keep Phil Foden in the middle, send Oscar Bob to the wing. Why don't you do that? Phil Foden can create like very few people can. The way one of Phil Foden's best traits is he's one of the best players on half turn. He takes the ball and turns. I have seen Phil Foden 2 years back break down a resolute Atletico Madrid defense. A resolute Atletico Madrid defense by taking the ball on the half turn and turning. 2 3 years back. Is this Aston Villa defense better than that? No. But he bloody keeps on Julian Alvarez when you need a goal. And when there's no creator on the midfield. I mean that this is just ridiculous from Pep today. He's not been outthought counting. He's just gone mad today, Pep Guardiola. He's self-destructed himself with playing zero creators in the midfield. I mean, you go back to Pep's Bayern Munich teams, even when Thomas Muller was playing in the midfield, you had people like Tony Cruz and all of those playing to create. Never was Thomas Muller the main creative outlet in a Bayern Munich team, for example. Then how can you put Julian Alvarez in the Thomas Muller role and tell him to create? This is just absolute madness from Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola stopped thinking today. It's been outthought. He stopped thinking today. That's the only thing. Joe Bailey says City going to get packed at Luton as well. We'll see that game Luton away. Luton away is a small ground. I mean, let's not talk about that now. It's a very small ground, and you can't stretch the game as much. I've seen it yesterday. Luton versus Arsenal. Luton Killingworth Park will be a difficult fixture as well. Now, any team will be a difficult fixture if you play like this because zero creativity. Vinay says Pep's out of position players and complex tactics is affecting. Vinay says he's playing with two strikers. Why not 4-4-2? Foden useless. Means exactly, Vinay. I just don't understand this. I just don't understand this obsession with Julian Alvarez in the midfield and not playing a 4-4-2. Play him as a second striker or play him as a bloody 4-4-1-1. See, when Pep Guardiola has Kevin De Bruyne, he plays De Bruyne behind the shoulder of Erling Haaland, 4-4-1-1. But when you have an actual striker, second striker in Julian Alvarez, who's one of the best in the league, by the way, he's in the top three, top four strikers in the league, Julian Alvarez, you play him in midfield. You have a world-class attacking midfielder, you play him as a second striker in De Bruyne. You have one of the best strikers in the league, you play him as a midfielder. I don't know what is this. These complex tactics by Pep, and it's just affecting everybody. I mean, Josko Guardiola was a clear example. Leon Bailey, one on one, you just defend. Look at that. Aston Villa, 22 shots. City, 2 shots. 22 shots and 2 shots. When was the last time you saw this, guys? When was the last time you saw this? 22 shots and 2 shots. City were bloody defending like Atletico Madrid today. This is just bloody ridiculous. When I says why players during counter stop to take on players, Pep straight build up fuming. I mean, Pep once said in the final third, I leave it to the players. But I just think as age is getting on with Pep, he's even taking on that role as well. What to do in the final third as well. It's just there's absolutely no fluidity when you're on the counter. I don't know why Julian Alvarez, for example, today there was one instance when City on the counter, he stops and then he lets Douglas Lewis recover and then he releases the ball. Erling Haaland was already offside then. Absolutely shite, absolutely ridiculous. Vinay says, by actual left back, right back, centre back, DM. Tired of seeing out of position shit from Pep. Josko Guardiola is another example of an out of position shite from Pep. To see that Josko Guardiola, I mean, the poor guy, the guy is one of the best centre backs, young centre backs in world football, and you're playing him at left back. The guy is just not able to, he's just looking out of the. And I was confused today. I don't know why, but maybe you guys can tell me, maybe Vinay can tell me, why is Natanake not starting? Why is Natanake not starting today? You know that Leon Bailey is there. Leon Bailey is one of the more lethal wingers. He's fast. Natanake has defended against Mo Salah recently. He's defended against wingers like Saka, everyone in the past. Why don't you start Natanake today? Why do you want to start Josko Guardiola when you know in the previous match what happened? I mean, every match, Chelsea, Josko Guardiola reason for concession of at least one goal. Kulusevski goal, Josko Guardiola. Well, not Kulusevski, one of Spurs goals, Josko Guardiola. I mean, every goal in the last 2-3 games, Josko Guardiola had a part. We had conceded and you're starting him. Just don't understand how is that? Why is that? Vinay says, bet KDB is the only person who's allowed to take risks. Other players will wait for systemic attack. That's why I don't want Deserby. This has just gone to an extreme level now, Vinay. That that the football has just turned out to be too. It's just turned out to be too boring. I've never thought I'll use this word. I know we used the word with Community Shield match against Liverpool last season, but we have seen lows in the 18-19 in the 1920 season, that season when Aymeric Laporte got injured. We have seen certain lows last season when we were 8 points behind, and until the first week of February we were just playing shit football. And this has to be another low in the history of this club, I would say, in the history of Pep Guardiola's tenure. There's no beautiful football there. The beauty has been removed. It's been grinding and grinding. The balance is just not there. When was the last time you guys saw a Pep Guardiola team not being balanced enough? We were not able to take the ball off Aston Villa in the midfield. That has just baffled me today. When is the last time that a team kept the ball from Pep Guardiola? Possession stats won't tell you this, but Aston Villa kept the ball so safely from Pep Guardiola. Even Arsenal, Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid. When you name Bayern Munich, bloody Bayern Munich with Kimmich, Goretzka, Musiala in the midfield last season could not keep the ball from us. We high pressed and snatched the ball from them. And yet we are getting schooled by Aston Villa here in the midfield. What the hell? Vinay says Guardiola, Diaz, Walker. This is nothing but paper defense. Has leaked loads of goals. But you look at this defense, Vinay. Kyle Walker, the best right back in the world. Ruben Diaz, the best centre back in the world. Josko Guardiola, the best upcoming young centre back in the world. You do not have a better centre back than young centre back than Josko Guardiola. I do not think the defense is the problem, to be honest. John Stones, one of the best in terms of coming out from the world. I do not think defense is the problem, Vinay. I actually think midfield is the problem. The defense has been leaking goals, but whose mistake is it? Whose mistake is it today that Leon Bailey with one turn was one on one with Josko Guardiola? Whose mistake is it today that Giovanni Lo Celso against Spurs was left free, unmarked at the edge of the box? Whose mistake is that Chelsea? One of the goals they ran through and scored. Midfield. I think a midfield is not defensively solid. That is a problem. I mean, this is a classic example of us seeing Liverpool suffer when they lost people like Wijnaldum and Anderson was out injured in one of their seasons. The defense with Van Dijk, who was one of the best defenders out then, could not handle it. I think we actually did not give as much credit in the previous seasons to our defense, including Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, and Rodri. Our midfield, including these three players, because De Bruyne his physical presence is underrated. Gundogan has been a DM, his interceptions in the midfield and stuff is underrated, and Rodri, of course. So I think you compare that midfield to this midfield, Julian Alvarez, no way in terms of physicality or things, compared to Kevin De Bruyne. Kovacic, Ilkay Gundogan. No way is defensively Kovacic equal to Ilkay Gundogan. So suddenly you see your midfield is weak. Even Phil Foden, for example, not a strong defender. Even if you think he comes into the midfield sometimes, I think it's the problem of the midfield. I'm very sure now it's the problem of the midfield that we are lacking so many goals. I mean, if you just go back and see the kind of, I know I've said this before, but if you go back and see the kind of goals you have conceded, I think you would see that a lot of them are turnover in possession from the midfield, and then the attack develops. I think I don't care whatever defense you bring. If you don't shield your defenders with your midfield, I think one on ones, even the best defender in the world, four one on ones, the attacker will at least go through him once. I don't care who the defender is, even Sergio Ramos at his prime. So I think the midfield is the problem for me, defensively, offensively. My God, I'm thinking in that way now, and it almost seems that our midfield is non-existent. They don't contribute creatively. They are almost non-existent defensively. My God, this is absolutely turning into shit. United says six defenders of City versus four midfielders of Villa. What's Pep thinking of creativity on this? McGinn ranged us. United says Nunez signed for what if Rico has to play? He's more suited to PL. The midfield is I think the shield from midfield is just not enough. And I think that is the shield, the defensive shield, the creativity from the midfield. It's not just being enough. And I was surprised that we were being that's what right, Vinay. I was surprised that we were being dominated by people like Lewis, Kamara, John McGinn, bloody Leon Bailey coming inside. When in truth, like I mentioned, we dominated midfields, including Toni Kroos, Casemiro, Luka Modric, Federico Valverde. Was this just tell me one thing? Was this Aston Villa midfield better than the Champions League midfields we played last season? Absolutely not. I just think I think a single solution to, if you ask me, are we in crisis? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Last season, January the last week, Cancelo went and we were absolute shite, playing absolute shite, lost to Spurs away 1-0 at that time, 8 points of Arsenal with a game in hand. They had a game in hand. We were potentially 11 points of Arsenal at that time. Came back stronger and went on to win the league. So I would not call this a crisis as of now. And we need to be strong because we have faced these sort of scenarios and situations in the past. But I'm thinking, how do you address this? Kevin De Bruyne is not coming back from injury till January the 15th. Even if he comes back, he will not be fit. He might not be fit, you know. You can't say 100% he'll play the next half of the season injury free. How do you get out of this? How do you get out of this? People will say that Kevin De Bruyne has been injured in the past, but back then you had Gundogan, you had Bernardo Silva, you had Gundogan taking on the mantle of Kevin De Bruyne, to be honest, and then the other people filling in. Now you don't have that luxury. Gundogan just doesn't bring his creative capabilities. Gundogan brings leadership. Gundogan brings calmness. Gundogan brings presence of mind. Gundogan is a wealth of experience. Now you don't have anything of that. So I'm just sitting here and thinking, how can City get out of this? What can City do? I mean, I'll admit that I was puzzled the same way when Cancelo left last season. At the end of the transfer window, and I was absolutely lost. And Pep played four defenders at the back with no fullbacks, and we won the treble. I'm as much confused right now, and I don't know what will be the solution. To be honest, Coutinho says, "What scares me more is the build-up play. There were so many instances today that Bernardo and Stones didn't know whom to pass to. That's been the thing, right? Bernardo Stones, even when that four-yard pass, right, Matthews Nunes, which you commented earlier, that absolutely summed up, you know. Even though Kyle Walker was there, Nunes got confused. Should I really pass to Kyle Walker? There were lack of options. I think you're spot on there, Continue. Pep always used to say that in the past seasons as well, that when there are lack of options in the midfield, that means that your positional play has gone to shit. I think today City's positional play has gone to shit. We did not play our positional play well. It almost seemed that people were static in their positions, to be honest. Otherwise, when Stones has the ball, where is the run of a Foden? Where is the run of a Bernardo Silva? Where is the run of a Rico Lewis? Where is the, I won't blame Erling Haaland, but where is the run of Julian Alvarez? We were bloody static there. I think positional play was absent, and when Stones came forward, there was no one occupying his vacated space. When a midfielder came forward, no one was tucking in. When a fullback came forward, no one was tucking in for him. The the positional play was just not there today. Coutinho says this means that there were no free players to receive the ball. Why did that happen multiple times today? Exactly, Coutinho. No free players to receive the ball means the positional play was absent today. There was no one, there was no one creating that movement on the field. You know, Pep Guardiola's entire system is based on positional play. Someone has the ball, someone else moves in another position to create options. Every time at City, the fundamental rule of Pep Guardiola is if someone has the ball, he should have 3 to 4 options to pass to. There was no one today. There was no one to pass to today, to be honest. I think the answer to your question, Kandanya, is the absence of positional play. Everyone was just thinking of defending. There was no one, making those runs. There was no one gambling. There was no one trying to do, trying to be inventive. Vinay says these are all passing merchants apart from KDB. At least there was no pass and move, right, Vinay? There was no pass and move. John Stones with the ball, right? There was no one for John Stones to pass and move. Everyone was static. That's another thing which actually confused me. It almost left my mind, but good that Gandhinya mentioned it. It almost confused me. Why was there no positional play today? No one was actually moving. That is just, I mean, I don't know where we are heading towards, to be honest. Vinay says, I never liked Alvarez midfield since last year. Pep's misusing him. Well, when Pep played Alvarez in midfield, I was like, I had a sense that, he is someone like a Thomas Muller. But even with Thomas Muller, you always had a creative presence there. Always had always had someone like a Tony Cruz, for example, when Pep played Thomas Muller there, you had people, you had creative people there. But with Julian Alvarez, he's the sole creative this thing. With Julian Alvarez position, you're spoiling Phil Foden. As Phil Foden is wasted out of the wing, I don't know what Bernardo Silva is doing now. He's just playing free. He's actually playing a free role and he doesn't know what to do. But at the core of these issues, I think everything comes down to the lack of defensive steel in the midfield. The absolute lack of defensive steel in the midfield, to be honest. I mean, at this point, people could ask me, do you still think City are in the title race? Like I said, so many examples, right? In the 6 year tenure of in the 7 year tenure of Pep Guardiola, there were so many times we arrive in January and February with 10 points behind, 11 points behind, and still we go on and clinch the title. So I would say never. Liverpool 18-19 season lost one game and that too it was to us, and we lost 5 games that season and we still went on and clinched the Premier League title. So I would say never. Still there are still there are so many points to play. Still it's not even halfway there. But we need to fix this. Crisis is not new for us. We need to fix this, to be honest. Vinicius must splash on DiMarco, actually left back, and Paqueta, actual creator or pressing machine. Even if it's 150 million, where's the dollars gone? Paqueta's release clause is 80 million, Vinay. Uh, 85 million, which will come into which you can activate next season. But I think in the winter, that's why we can negotiate the same 80-85 million for from West Ham. I I'm just thinking, how did we end up in this situation? How did we end up in this situation? That's the thing. And bloody we let even Cole Palmer go when Cole Palmer could have played the Kevin De Bruyne role, to be honest, right? Cole Palmer could have played the Kevin De Bruyne role. And I mean, I'm thinking, how did we end up in this situation with Rodri? How did we end up in this situation with the creator thing? Ja- I just don't know. And news is coming that in January we are signing Valentin Barco, who is an upgraded version of Sergio Gomez. He's exceptionally good on the ball, but he's a defensive liability. They say he's a generational talent on the ball, but he's a defensive liability. Poor Rico Lewis today. I haven't seen someone get the ball of Rico Lewis, but he didn't have options to pass to. And he had to give the ball away today. Vinicius didn't replace Mahrez Gundo. Again, I'm sad that again Olise. How sad should we feel that we didn't get Olise? Because if you watch Olise play, I was watching Crystal Palace play some team and Olise 2 weeks back, and Olise was just pumping in crosses. His crosses are so beautiful. 21-year-old Olise would have been a creative outlet. Come on, crosses like Mahrez, and we could use him on free kicks, and crosses like Mahrez and Erling Haaland could be getting on the end of them. Now we have become so shit that there's no one to cross the ball as well. Who is the crosser in this team? Tell me. No one. There's no single player who can cross the ball in this team. That's where we have come into. Tell me who is good at crosses. No one. But then, I mean, how did we come to this? Shit on set pieces. No one who can cross the ball. No one who can play those through balls. We have got Kovacic as someone who can play those through balls, but Kovacic is not doing those. I don't know why. I don't know what Pep will do. I don't know what new system Pep will, because every time we have gone into a crisis like this, Pep has come out with a new system. Last season, four centre backs with no full backs. Literally sat out Walker for a while. The season before, I think it was two full backs. The season before, I think there was some other this thing. And John Stones in the midfield as well last season. I'm just thinking, what kind of invention can Pep bring on this season? When I says Walker right wing is another fun to watch. Don't tell me about that. Whenever Walker comes carrying the ball forward, I'm like, there goes another attack to waste. Walker is the best right back in the world, but he is not good in terms of bombing forward and crossing the ball. Because whenever he does that, even the opponents don't close him down because they know he's shite. They know that the cross will go outside or he'll give the ball to the opponent. So the opponents actually want Walker to cross. so that the possession is turned in the opponent's favor. That's another experiment which is just backfired. Now suddenly I see in this team and there are so many faults, there are so many holes. Coutinho says, for the first time in a while, City look vulnerable and opponents feel that they can dominate City. But let's not overreact as well. Definitely not Coutinho, definitely not. Because we are keeping in mind here that this is a team that has won a treble. This is a team that just 5 months back has beaten some of the best teams in Europe. Not won a treble just like that. This is a team that has conquered the PL in five of the last 6 seasons. So definitely not overreacting, especially when you see last February we were almost 8 points in a match in hand behind Arsenal, 11 points behind Arsenal. Season before, I think we were 7, 8, 18, 19, 8 points behind Liverpool. Last season as well, we were almost level on Liverpool in February or something like that. So not overreacting at all. But when I think of where can when I look at the holes that are available in City, my God, I can sometimes I can now sense that are we having as many holes as United has now? Do both the Manchester teams have the same amount of holes? I don't know because United's midfield is non-existent. Our midfield is non-existent. By the way, Bruno Fernandes, we could have do. I mean, I don't want Bruno Fernandes at all near my team, but just the lack of creativity. I mean, I mean, I'm just feeling sad that Lucas Paqueta deal would not have been over because if Lucas Paqueta would have come that physicality, that through ball giving creativity, a lot of things would have been come in place. But again, let's not overreact, like Kamdinya has said, and like we as a community always talk not to overreact. And I actually think that I'm thinking what kind of, because every time City are in a crisis, every every time it looks as if Pep has been figured out. Pep comes out with something new. Pep comes out with something innovative that changes the way football's actually being looked at. Just an example of Pep playing four centre backs, and suddenly you see Mikel Arteta buying Urian Timber and playing Urian Timber, Ben White as both his fullbacks, essentially two centre backs at the fullback position. So I think whenever Pep is the beauty of Pep Guardiola is the beauty of our Pep is whenever he's put into a crisis, whenever he has the back to the wall, I think he comes up with an innovation that tends to change the landscape of football. And so I'm waiting for what that innovation could be in a way. Vinay says problem is we don't have actual players for every position. Foden, Silva, even Akanji don't have fixed position. I just think Foden in Cam, when I just think one solution to this could be play Foden in that Cam position. I think now John Stones is returned, Rodri in the midfield. I ideally think our lineup should be like this. Of course, Edison, and then you have Nathan Ake for a while. Nathan Ake, John Stones, Ruben Diaz, and Kyle Walker, and then Rodri, Phil Foden, and and a Matthews Nunez in the midfield, and Jeremy Doku or Jack Grealish. We can either of them probably we could go with Doku or Jack Grealish. Okay, preferably Doku, Erling Haaland, and Oscar Bob on the right wing. I think I would put Julian Alvarez and Bernardo Silva probably on the bench for a while. Or maybe you play Oscar Bob or Bernardo Silva on the right wing. I think our midfield should be Rodri, Matthews Nunes, and Phil Foden. I think this is the most balanced midfield I can think of because Nunez gives you that physicality. Nunez provides you with that defensive cover at least. Whereas Phil Foden can be a bit more inventive. So I think that is one midfield. If Pep plays, he can actually come out of this and induce creativity into our team. Vinay says Rodri Nunez pivot. Exactly, Vinay. Rodri Nunez pivot. That is the thing. And another thing, when I'm thinking about this, why not give Kyle Walker a bit of a rest and play Manuel Akanji on the right back position, Ake left back and Akanji right back, because Akanji, I think when he goes forward he gives you a bit more than Kyle Walker in a way. I know you'll have to wait. I'm telling this because if Akanji plays there, at least Pep will not tell Akanji to run up and down on that flank. So that will mean we might have a much more solid defense. But I think Nunez starts, Rodri, Nunez, and I think Phil Foden needs to start in the midfield. I will be stunned and surprised if he actually starts uh, Julian Alvarez in the midfield. I mean, if you want to start Julian Alvarez, play a 4-4-2 with split strikers, Haaland on one half of the field and Alvarez on the other half of the field. That means you're splitting the centre backs. That means you open up space for your midfielders like Phil Foden to make a run on the inside. That could be an option, to be honest. That could actually be an option, to be honest. When I says Ake Diaz, Ake Diaz, Akanji is decent, and put John Stones over there. I think, and another thing, when I probably think, and I know we all don't like Jack Grealish for slowing down the play and all. But maybe I think if Jack Grealish would have been there today, I think Leon Bailey would not have gone one on one with Josko Guardiola, because we need to remember that Jack Grealish is the one who. I actually think if Jack Grealish would have been available for today's match, the domination of Aston Villa in midfield would be less, because Jack Grealish is someone who contains the ball, is a master at retaining the ball, is a master at providing defensive cover to your fullbacks as well. I just think with Jeremy Doku and Phil Foden, you just don't get that cover, to be honest. I think Jack Grealish played a major part defensively in terms of covering back against Saka, Coman, Sonny, Rodrigo, and those people, to be honest, last season. So I probably think Jack Grealish has a much more vital role in this team than we actually realize. And I'm actually realizing the role of Jack Grealish today. In terms of the defensive cover he'll give. But anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining the comments. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks a lot, Kamdinya. Thanks a lot, Vinay, for the wonderful comments. And guys, let us stay strong. Uh, uh, let us stay very strong. Crisis is not something that is new for this club. Last season before, it's not just like we had a cakewalk winning 5 Premier League titles in the last 6 seasons. Every season except the Centurion season, we had to go through a struggle. We had to go through that battle. So let's be behind the team in this crisis thing. I wouldn't even label it as a crisis. Opponents will label it as a crisis, of course. Opponents like Arsenal, opponents like Liverpool will label it as a crisis. And these are the teams who have won one title in the last 20 years. Pep has won more titles. Pep has won more Premier League titles in the last 20 years than both Arsenal and Liverpool put together. It is these teams and the fans of these teams, Arsenal and Liverpool, that will tell that City are in a crisis. We are ahead in the title race. Let them tell these things. But we know where we are. We know that crisis makes us stronger. Crisis really drives us. Opponents should be afraid if we are pushed into a crisis. Look at how we reacted to crisis. Won the treble. Won something that's been done only once in the entire history of the Premier League. That's how we respond to crises. So the Luton game will be interesting now. Luton game will be very, very interesting. Now, especially the lineup that Pep Guardiola goes with. Just stay strong, guys, and don't care about what the opponents say and stuff. We know where City is. We know. Come on, City. City ID, guys. City ID. Have a good